dearly loved animation Encanto 2 won Best Animated Feature at the Oscars. With this, it has proven to be a massive hit after its initial release by Disney Plus in December 2021. Encanto 2 still has to be confirmed by Disney, but with the fact that it's now an Oscar winner, that might change.
Simply got to know, so welcome to Family Madrigal.
The hit song We Don't Talk About Bruno became a record breaker in both the UK and the US, while the rest of the songs from the film's soundtrack have all made it to the top 10 around the world. It has given us a Disney fever like we haven't experienced since the release of Frozen. Encanto doesn't automatically set itself up for a sequel, but neither did Frozen. If Anna and Elsa got a sequel, why shouldn't Mirabel, Bruno, Luisa, and co. have one too? The first film sees Mirabel trying to save the family's magical home, the casita, after it begins to crack and the candle starts to glimmer. After the casita is ruined and the candle dies, Mirabel runs away as she thinks everything is her fault. Although, after reconciling with Abuela, the Madrigals are back together while working with the community to reconstruct Casita. Mirabel is given a doorknob to put in the front door, and when she does, the magic returns for everyone. Well, except Mirabel, who still doesn't have a power, but she's quite special all the time. There's also many theories out there about the reason she wasn't given a power, if you're interested in investigating them. For Stephanie Beatriz, the fact that she's without power is confusing. Quote, "If you do a close listen to those lyrics, oftentimes it's just right there," she said to Digital Spy. "The miracle is you, all of you, all of you." That line gets repeated a few times, and that line can be read in many different ways, right? All of you, meaning a group of people. And the miracle is also all of you. All the parts of you are the miracle. There's no one alive that's ever been just like you, and there won't be again. Great, now we're crying again. As we mentioned before, Encanto's ending doesn't lead to a sequel since it's an independent story. But it doesn't have to mean that there aren't potential new points of view to explore in the sequel. There's a theory from a fan where Mirabel takes over from Abuela as Casita's matriarch, and that's why she didn't get her power, possibly leading the family out of the community and into the rest of the world again. We would be eager to watch any new adventures with the family Madrigal, so the sequel could go in many directions. Jessica Darrow, who voices Luisa, has her own opinion on what could be next for her character. Quote, "I want Luisa to take a break. I want the humanization of Luisa, you know? We saw all the hard stuff that she has to deal with and the anxieties she experiences," she said to BuzzFeed.
Fine, I'm not fine. I can't move the mountain.
The Encanto 2 film still hasn't been confirmed by Disney, so therefore, we aren't surprised that there isn't a release date so far. The first film was in development for a few years before being officially confirmed by Lin-Manuel Miranda in June 2020. Its premiere in the movie theaters was in November 2021, so we can expect a few years more for the sequel also. There were 6 years between Frozen and Frozen 2, so that could indicate the long wait for the Encanto sequel. Optimistically, it won't take that much time, but until it's confirmed, it is difficult to say when it will be released. The entire cast members would remain the same for a potential sequel, which most likely will be led by Stephanie Beatriz as Mirabel. John Leguizamo will be joining her as Bruno, as well as Jessica Darrow as Luisa, Diane Guerrero as Isabella, Maria Cecilia Botero as Abuela, Mauro Castillo as Felix, Angie Cepeda as Julieta, and Wilmer Valderrama as Augustine. Mirabel, our heroine, is part of the Madrigal family and doesn't have magical power. Despite her differences, she is devoted to her family and community, even though she has low self-esteem. Luisa is Mirabel's older sister, the family rock who uses her superpower to bear enormous responsibilities. Surface Pressure, her greatest tune, is a hymn for all the perfectionists out there. Perfect child Isabella can make flowers from thin air, which she sings about in her What Else Can I Do song. She is Mirabel's older sister. Guerrero has been in many television programs. Maria Cecilia Botero plays the role of Abuela Alma Madrigal. Abuela, the Madrigal family's matriarch, is the custodian of the family's magic and the casita. Her plans may seem suffocating to her granddaughter Mirabel, but she keeps the family and community out of trouble. Bruno, the star of the TikTok hit We Don't Talk About Bruno, is separated from his family. His talent to forecast the future has made him estranged from the community, even though he may be closer than anyone realizes. Augustine Madrigal is played by Wilmer Valderrama. Mirabel's father, Augustine, is one of the spouses who married into the Madrigal family. Along with protecting his daughter, he hurts from bee stings, which causes swelling of his face.
Grabbing all the donkeys, but then when I went to throw the donkeys in the barn, they were heavy.
By the end of Encanto, the Madrigal family mastered their weaknesses as a group, fighting generational forces and toxicity in the process. Therefore, they managed to reconstruct their house, and through Mirabel's gift, the magic that runs in them eventually returned. Although this time, each one of the Madrigals had realized their value, even without their powers. Even though the ending falls out of the classic Disney cliches and is fulfilling on its own, it still presents promising plot lines which the sequel could explore. For example, Encanto 2 could focus on the conqueror coming back and finding the hidden, charming village. Maybe Mirabel can finally leave her home and pursue a bigger purpose in life. Or the new movie can rather dwell on a new generation of the Madrigals, with a member going down the wrong track. The sequel could have a time jump, where a big crisis will get back together the rest of the family members. Encanto 2's plot has so many options, but whatever story Disney chooses to tell must be on the same level, or maybe even surpass the original. Encanto has a full story and gave his characters a decent ending, but some things need to be explored in the potential sequel. The film left the question of whether Mirabel has a gift, if she had a secret one all along, or if she's meant to take up Willa's place as matriarch of the family. And with all the other members, there is so much more to be explored. There are some other mysteries too, around the candle and the miracle itself, like why Abuela was given the miracle in the first place, if it's the candle or the house that gives the Madrigals their powers, and if there are any criteria for giving those gifts, like a defining attribute in each Madrigal member, or if they're just chosen randomly. Encanto is one of the Disney films that doesn't have a real villain, so in the sequel, a new threat that could work as a villain might appear, and maybe with them, some of the mysteries will be solved. Encanto works as a self-standing film, since it has a complete story and each Madrigal member has an ending. But with a sequel, it can be beneficial if they expand the family's history, the origin of the miracle, the power of each character, and more. On a related note, we wanted to know, what do you think the Encanto 2 plot will be about? Let us know in the comments section below. If you'd like to see more amazing videos such as this one, make sure to like this video, subscribe, and hit the bell icon so you never miss any of them. And as always, thanks for watching, guys.